family, thank you guys for joining the video for today. So we still have some things ongoing, guys, and we can show you here Open Ledger Technologies and Ripple named. Now it's getting very close where the Fed now is going to use XRP domestically for US payments, and it's gonna get very interesting to see how this will affect price. Now of course it doesn't mean that XRP will moon on 1st of July or anything like that, right? Because we know how news reacts to price, or price reacts to news. We know that it doesn't really affect price, but this is something different. This has never happened before, and this is very interesting. Let's take a look what they say about this.
Detail and depth in the particular products. I know that there's a lot of new things that you're working on. Some things that you'd like to share with us.
Sure. Today, I think we have announced one more product which helps the latest technology, blockchain technologies, with these open ledger technologies. We are already it's just out for the last few months, I guess, with one of the companies called Ripple, and we have already partnered with them, and we have a working product in which we have demoed it here, and we are going to demo that to a lot of our customers as well. And we're getting a lot of good traction there, saying customers have looked at it and they're saying this is great because it's when they're thinking about these things when we.
So you can see here, guys, and sorry for the audio, it's not the best, but here you can see Valenti Tech, and that is exactly what the Fed now is using to actually make real-time payments happen. And you can quickly see that that is related to Open Ledger Technologies, Ripple.
Show the solution, they really love it.
You know, very interesting for me because, of course, as you mentioned, blockchain is getting a lot of coverage, and I think a lot of people still associate it very much with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That might not have given the right image of blockchain. So it's really refreshing to hear that there's other applications in financial services, and that you've actually brought some of that into the market. I'd like to hear a little bit more.
Again, you're absolutely right, because blockchain has been associated with Bitcoin. A lot of people have not been looking at other things, but I think now the knowledge of blockchain technology is becoming a little more popular, and people are learning more on how it can be used, right from the securities market to the payments market, the settlements and all that. I think as we go forward, again, there will be a lot of excitement regarding that, and there will be a lot of new players, and eventually there will be shake-up, and then some of the leading players will settle down as the leading leaders. But what we are trying to do is, it really doesn't matter which vendor you go with, which technologies we go with. Our architecture itself is built in such a way that we are. I would like to use this phrase called future-proof, which will support you as the technologies change or industry change, but you'll be able to address it in a very agile fashion to address those needs as you go forward.
Exactly, future-proof, guys. Very well said. That is why they are using Ripple. They want to be ready for the future because they know that this technology is ahead of its time, right? And it is actually time to have a new payment system. So clearly you can see that everywhere that FedNow is using XRP. Ripple partner and FedNow service provider Valenti says that customers can use XRP on its platform since it's connected to Ripple, plus Valenti selected for US Fedwire service provider in the cloud. Valenti Technologies, one of the most respected global provider of payment solutions, is settling transfer using XRP through a link with Ripple. The Jersey-based firm has confirmed. Valenti says its platform can be deployed to settle payment through XRP token. This, according to the firm, is possible after linking with Ripple's RippleNet. The tech firm made the disclosure on Twitter after an inquisitive XRP user sought to know whether XRP will be made possible as a settlement mechanism for First American Trust FSB, which just selected Valenti Technologies' US Fedwire as a service in the cloud. Valenti responded that customers can make use of XRP on its platform since it is connected to Ripple. So again, guys, these things are always there, right? They were always there. This is not a surprise. Shanghai Bank uses Ripple for remittance corridor between USA and China. Believe it or not, yes, the US and China still have corridors open to actually make transactions. Ripple has its own cryptocurrency, XRP, which is actively traded on several cryptocurrency exchanges. Ripple also operates its own exchange, structured as a network described above, in which the top currencies actively exchanged are CNY, USD, GPY, and Euro. In addition, other cryptocurrencies like BTC and ETH are also actively exchanged. The Shanghai Huarai Bank recently announced that it is working on a remittance product using Ripple for the USA-China corridor, right? So you can clearly see, guys, that Ripple is not stopping and it's not going away. This lawsuit will only make it more accessible and more popular for people to understand what is really happening. So I just showed you this, guys, together, and you can see here now that together these things make a lot of sense, right? And we have been saying this from the beginning, that Valenti Technologies is a Ripple partner, and that the Fedwire service is going live the 1st of July, right? I mentioned this many times, and I keep repeating this so that people understand what is coming, to be prepared. Just got an email of a filing in the Ripple case, and I must have admit, I got butterflies in my stomach, but it was just a lawyer withdrawing from the case. To be clear, a lawyer withdrawing means nothing. It's not a signal that the case settled or anything of substance whatsoever. So there was a lawyer, there was actually an image or a file that had been filed, and it was a lawyer withdrawing from the case. Now, because a lot of people were panicking and thinking that something happened, John Deaton quickly replies and gives us clarity. It's very good that he does these things because these are very important. A lot of people do not understand a lawsuit, right? The knowledge is very limited out here, and John Deaton is doing a great job for clarifying again that it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's settled. It doesn't mean that anything is over. It's just a lawyer withdrawing from the case, right? Has its own reasons. It has nothing to do with the lawsuit itself. So a very interesting video I found here, guys, and this is always, you can always see these things coming back. Dirty little secret, there's only one digital asset that has had complete transparency, XRP. This transparency has been used by BTC ETH gang to beat Ripple over the head. Who is Satoshi? Who are discussed whales? We're the good guys and always have been. This is an ugly performance from Taleb. This man used to be influential. Look how confused and embarrassed the CNBC hosts are with his arguments. Look what he's saying, guys. The Black Swan author on crypto. Let's take a look.
Now, call it 1349. I think it was 9 or 10. Anyway, so here we are now. Call it 13, 14 years in.
Yes.
This is a very long
but think about it.
speculation if this is that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm not.
But let's look at the crypto. Is it being used for real transactions? No. It is a cult.
In parts of the world it is, Nassim, where the unbanked
Okay,
or people in very high, where they make.
So look how how would I say that? Uneducated this guy is really is, because he's saying, is it being used for real? And he's saying crypto. He's not saying Bitcoin. He's saying, is crypto being used for real transactions? Yes, it is. Look at Ripple. We just showed you, right? Fedwire service, all of these things. That is why these people are so uneducated and so ignorant that they do not understand. They are hating they are hating the whole asset system itself that they start using while they don't even know what it is.
Make money and inflation is 30 to
Okay,
40%,
so
and they have a cell phone and they're able to own something that doesn't depreciate immediately.
Well, it did exactly the opposite of its mission as inflation hedge, because it collapsed when inflation
Collapsed to
showed up.
30,000, but people were negative
you
at
can
$10.
But you can look at any stocks that reached $100 has started at $1 or $2. So
And a lot of those
when
collapsed.
you look at things, you don't look at the past. You look at the drawdown you can experience if you own it when it's already mature. So the one, it's not an inflation hedge. Two, the thing is, it may be good for transaction, for petty transaction, small amount of money, but it's not good for real money laundering because it's very traceable. And three, it is pretty much the first time in the history of the world we have had a cult, cult coupled with a financial instrument.
What do you make of BlackRock now trying to pursue with an ETF? You have Citadel. You have a number of Wall Street players who, by the way, for a very long time actually were very negative, skeptical, just like you.
Yes. I started positive on Bitcoin because I was disappointed with the Federal Reserve policy. But then I realized that you're going from Caribbean to Scylla, in other words, from something bad to something vastly worse. At least with Federal Reserve, we have transparency, we know what's going on, we can influence it.
Transparency. There is no transparency from the Federal Reserve. That is absolute crap. You see, these people, guys, are with them. They actually want, like, these people actually own Bitcoin, right? But they're putting it down so that majority of people will miss out on something like this. Now, listen, I'm telling you that XRP is the number one, will be the number one asset, but it doesn't mean that I hate on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is great, and I really hope it goes up. I have nothing against it. Again, we shouldn't be having islands on crypto, or whether like this has to go up, this has to go down. I'm really against that. I'm for crypto as a whole. I really hope Bitcoin goes up, and I really trust that Bitcoin is actually a good alternative to hold in this whole mess. And look at how these people are very negative about it. You can almost see that they're hating instead of just being objective, right? And that is the whole point of this, that you shouldn't be a hater of anything. You should look at things objectively, look at the facts, look at the truth, and don't just hate something for the sake of hating. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.